Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all well. I'm just looking through a bit of the footage that I've got here. So if I go to my latest capture, you'll see there's a huge dust bunny on one side. So once that's loaded, can you see this huge dust bunny that's just there? Now, I don't know what that is, because if I now go back to earlier, it wasn't there. Now I know I've got some dust bunnies, I get that, that's fine. Flats will take care of that, but I've already taken my flats. So I want to know what that is when it appears. Yeah, there you go. There's something there, and I don't know what it is. Slightly concerning, because my flats won't take that out because it's not in the flats. That's a new addition from the last sort of 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to have to deal with that or retake my flats, which is a bit of a pain. So good evening, everybody. I hope you're all well. Let me go to the OBS view so I can actually see, not the OBS view, there we go. So yes, good evening. I hope you're all well. You are looking at M81, which is Bode's galaxy, and this is through an RC telescope, and it's a focal length of 1,370 millimeters. So it's a very long focal length telescope, and it's currently imaging using my 405cc SV Bode camera, and it seems to be doing very well. I've kind of mastered this camera now. It's taken a while. It's a 294C sensor, but it seems to be doing its thing, which is good. However, after this exposure, I'm going to stop the sequence, and I'm going to go and have a look to see if there's anything I can see. I probably will have to retake my flats, because that there is a new addition. It was not on my flats, and it certainly wasn't on the earlier subframes that I've taken. So if I go and look at an earlier sub, it will disappear, which means that my flats won't work. There you go. So forgive the satellite, there's literally nothing I can do about that, obviously, but it's not there. I know I've got some dust bunnies, don't worry about those, they disappear with flats, as does the vignetting, as does the amp glow, but this will not disappear because it's new. It's a new addition. So that there is a brand new addition. Something is on my my scope somewhere. So what I think I'll do is at 94%. Let's have a look at the sequencer. As soon as it's finished this exposure, I'm just going to nip outside. 57, 58, 59. Right, I'm just going to stop it. So I've stopped the sequence, and I'm just going to go outside. So it's probably going to go a bit nuts for a minute. I'll just go back to the imaging tab. So bear with me for a tiny bit of time while I go with my torch and see if I can see if some bit of debris has fallen onto the scope or something else. I'll be back very soon. Hello everybody. Right, you probably saw the guiding went bonkers, which is what you can see there. That was me. So that's me walking around the telescope. I don't know what that is. I can't see any debris. There is something on there. So I think what I'm probably going to do... What time is it? It's 9:10. I think I'm going to take my flats again because that won't calibrate out, which is a real shame. So what I will do, I'm actually going to stop guiding. So all of this, don't worry about that. That's it's behind my head at the moment. So basically the rubbish guiding, that was me. So I just went to interfere with my telescope. So I'm going to go and take my flats again. So I'm just going to stop guiding, and I'm now going to go into the flats wizard and slew to zenith. So the mount is now slewing, which is cool. And I'm going to go and put a flats panel on the telescope, and we're going to take some flats. So I will be back very soon, probably about 3 or 4 minutes. 1 second. Okay, let's have a look. So, right, so it's suited to zenith. I've put my flats panel on top. I've put it on its lowest setting. I know that this will do a 3 second or just over a 3 second flat because I'm at F9. Hey Jim, how you doing? I've had some weird extra stuff appear on my flats or on the imaging. So can you see that weird sort of L shape or hill shape there? I don't know what that is. I can't get rid of it. I can't see it. So I'm actually just redoing my flats. So it's there. There's literally nothing I can do about that. So it wasn't there earlier. I think some debris maybe from the tree or something has just fallen and it's gone somewhere nearby. But it's a weird shape, so I'll have to blast everything with air. So yeah, there we go. So I'll just quickly retake my flats, and then we'll get back to imaging. Now, I'm wanting to do this quickly because I want to do a meridian flip tonight. So this mount has failed every meridian flip that I've done with it, and I've changed the settings, and I know the meridian is going to be at 9:39. So I'll bash these out, get this done, because I don't want to do them after the meridian, because if something goes wrong, it's something else to have to deal with. So we're going to, so we're basically going to take these flats, and then we'll re-slew back and start the sequence again, and then hopefully it will do the meridian, and we'll see the meridian. It should be hopefully around 39 with any luck. So it's in what, 25 minutes or so. Yeah, so I don't know what that weird thing is. So these flats are 3.40972 seconds. I take 30 of those, so it's just taking its last one, and it should prompt me now. Oh no, it's not, sorry, I beg your pardon. It's taking 25th now. and then it'll prompt me to cover the scope again. Yes, so good evening everybody. Who forgot? Very blustery down in the south. I think it is blustery tonight. Yes, it is very blustery. There we go. So I'm just going to go and cover the scope. Back again in about 30 seconds. Okay, back with you. Let's take these dark flats now. So I've covered the scope, turned off the panel. I haven't actually removed the panel. I've left the panel on top, and then I just put a blanket over the top. So this will now take the dark flats, or flat darks, depending on how you say that. There you go. So that's now taking those, and that's looking all good. So I'm happy with that. There's no light leaks there. So we'll just bash these out, and then I'll go and take the flats panel off, and we'll be away again, hopefully fairly soon. So who's imaging tonight? Who's out? Who's doing some astrophotography? Notice there's so many bits of debris and satellites and all sorts of rubbish in the sky, in the bit of sky where I'm imaging tonight. So yeah, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. So we're imaging with a Ritchie Crichton telescope tonight at 1,370mm focal length, which is very long, and it's at f9, so it's a 6-inch scope, and it means it's quite slow. So I'm taking 3-minute exposures, and then we'll see how we get on. The mount is my ST20 mount, which guides well but doesn't like meridian flip. So I'm trying to find out why, which is why I want to get imaging again, so that we can hopefully see the full meridian flip tonight with any luck. Right, so we're at exposure 26, and then I can bring in the flats panel, and hopefully we'll be good to go. Okay, great. I will just go and bring in the flats panel, and away we go. Okay, we're back. Right. So, the flats panel is just a tracing panel, and I didn't use that side. I used that side, which gives a lovely diffusion and puts it on its lowest brightness, and it gives me at f9 3 seconds. If I was using a faster telescope, I would need to put more diffusion, probably sheets of white drawing paper, and then that would work just as well. So I just wanted to show you that's just an Amazon tracing pad, and it works really well. So let's go into framing, and slew and center, and hopefully this should now slew the scope and recenter it back on Bode's galaxy, which is M81. Let's have a look. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and I will endeavour to answer them. Okay, so we've just slewed to the target, and hopefully it will now take an exposure. So the scope's not intolerant, so it's resyncing the scope, and hopefully you'll see Bodes appear in the middle there fairly soon. The mount's just settling, and any second now it should retake an exposure for me. We'll be away. There you go, there's Bodes. Still not in the center where I want it, so it's just resyncing. Yes, so that was a bit weird. An additional thing appeared on my exposures, so hopefully that will not affect the final image. If it does, then there's nothing I can do really. But okay, so it's now sent to the target, which is great. So I'm going to now get PhD2 to loop, select star, and start guiding. Oh no, select star. There we go, start guiding. I'm not worried about the calibration right now, so that's cool. Great, okay, that's good. And I'm not sure what will happen with my sequence, so we'll just click start and let's see. There we go, it's just started the whole sequence again. Great, okay, so we are imaging. Brilliant, and it's 9:23, so the meridian flip should be at 9:39. So that is perfect. That's what I want. So I want to basically do the meridian and see what happens. What normally happens, or what it should do, it should use the coordinates, flip the scope, recenter, restart guiding. I've also been struggling with it not able to recalibrate and lock onto a guide star. So I'm hoping that that will not be the case this time. I'm hoping that will be fine. So we'll see. Looks like guiding is settling a bit now. Just clear that out. It is quite windy out tonight, and it's, I wouldn't say it's a big scope. It's quite long, and it's got a dew shield, so it's potentially. You see, this is the issue I have. Look at this guiding; it's just gone north. See, that's not good enough. This is the problem I have with this mount. I've already calibrated it earlier, so it should not be doing this. Can you see? It can't make corrections. So now I'm going to have to stop this. I'm going to have to stop the exposure as well. And I'm going to have to recenter the target. Imaging, framing. Because it just moved then, so slew and center again. And what I'll have to do is then recalibrate, and it will then work. This is the problem with this mount. It drives me nuts. It just is not reliable. I don't know why I bothered to use it tonight, actually. You should not be having a mount that just because you've gone and done some flats and then it just does that. That's just hopeless. See, because it drifted down on the deck, it's no longer center, which is where I wanted it, because it's a nice nice size there. Okay, so it's centered. That's good. So I'm just going to clear this out. Loop again. Select start. And then I'm going to... So I will now calibrate here. I know it said don't do it here. If I go slew somewhere else to calibrate, so it gets a better calibration, and then slew back to the target, it will not guide. So there's nothing I can do about it. It is driving me bonkers. So this should now calibrate, and I guarantee the guiding then will be utterly brilliant. There we go, so it's now guiding. So let's start our plan again. So we'll just give that a second to bring it back in. Okay. Right, let's start this sequence. Okay, it's now imaging, which is good. So you can see there, that on the graph there, where it's just gone weirdly guiding east, going down. And that's in declination as well. Why would it do that? Because my polar alignment this evening was really good. So why would it suddenly say, okay, I'm going to drift down? It's just not good. Not good at all. If it fails the meridian flip this evening, which I am 100% sure it will, I'm fed up with this mount now. It's going. The mount I'm using is one of these ST20 mounts. It's been problematic, shall we say, and even the delivery, they dropped it. But I mean, it works. It just doesn't work very well. It's not damaged. It's just not a very good mount. So hopefully, what time is it? 9:30. Okay, cool. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll endeavour to answer those. So the scope is a very long focal length Ritchie Crichton 6-inch version of the Ritchie Crichton f9 scope, and And yeah, that seems to settle it. I didn't say Richie Kretschko, it's Richie Kretchen, I beg your pardon. My fault. So if we look at guiding now, it's kind of okay. The RA is above the line, which is weird. I don't know why it's doing that. But the figures are quite low. You see how the RA is constantly being corrected. If anybody has any ideas other than turn it off and on again, but I don't want to do that, then I would be very grateful. I think I just need to pension this one off. It's just not worth using. Okay, that's the first exposure, which is looking pretty much as I thought it would. So we can still see that dirt there. It's not moved. So hopefully my new set of flats will now be okay. I do like the framing in this particular scope. I think that's the right size. So that's good. Can you see how it's so right ascension is above the line. Now bear in mind my polar alignment this evening was excellent. It was absolutely excellent. And earlier it was not above the line, it was fine. It's just really, really weird. Try RA aggression to 100. I'm happy to do that. There we go. RA aggression to 100. Let's see. I mean, the numbers are good. 0.69, 0.73. Yeah, the aggression might have helped a little bit there. Still on the north side though, but it does seem to have pulled it back a bit. Honestly, what is it with telescope mounts? It's like, so for me it has been, first of all, telescope mounts have been horrific, and then cameras, and I've mastered the camera thing now, but telescope mounts are just, they're like the most problematic things. They really are. I should have used my iUltron mount this evening, but I wanted to try and master this one. Anyway, we will soon see what happens with the Meridian, because it will be happening in 5 minutes from now. So the Meridian flip is due, according to this, at 9:39:34. So I'm fairly sure that we'll see. There you go, it's running an autofocus. That's interesting. So I told the sequence only to autofocus if the HFR increased above 10%. So it clearly has. A wonderful hobby that can drive you mad. Never a truer word spoken. Yes. It is. It is a wonderful hobby, and it is most infuriating. But I love it. Yeah, can you see it's still high? Look at that. It is just really strange. autofocus. I've got some cool projects coming up with telescopes. The interesting thing about these projects is that they take a while to do, and so at the moment I have a load of telescope pods in paint stripper. Bear with me with this. In the garden, so they are pods from a 130 PDS, and they're currently in paint stripper to remove the white paint. So I'm going to be doing some an interesting project to build a telescope, and I'm hoping it should be really interesting. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. The only issue is that I can't produce the videos fast enough because there's a period of time that it takes. So for example, I was paint stripping these parts today, and one coat of paint stripper won't because paint stripper nowadays is not as potent as it used to be. So you used to have to paint it on and the paint would just come off. Nowadays you have to soak it for a long time. So that's why it's in the garden in a tub, sealed, waiting for the paint to be dissolved. So yeah, everything takes time, but that should be a cool project coming up in a video fairly soon. Right, so autofocus is done, it looks good, it's all fine. Now what's it going to do? So it's doing one more exposure, and then it should do the meridian flip. So this should be the last exposure, and then we're in meridian flip territory. If so, you can actually see that the focus there, you can see the stars, the HFR massively jumped up. So that's why I did a refocus. So I'm hoping that with this next exposure on that particular graph, that should now be lower. But it's actually going to do the meridian now. So quickly look at guiding. So it should stop the guiding. It should flip the scope. It should center, start guiding, and I guarantee it will fail then. Absolutely guarantee, because this is what's been happening. But we'll see in 1 minute and 30 seconds ish. Okay, so we now have 1 minute left on this exposure, and then we'll be into meridian flip territory. So let's just check in my sequencer. Yeah, everything looks good there, I think. Right, meridian flip in 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Saving image. PhD2 is settling. Because it's just on a dither. Why has it started another exposure? That's interesting. So why has it done that then? Interesting. Maybe an on-step quirk for meridian flip. Yeah, it might be. On-step has it's now on-step X, so on-step is no longer being developed, but on-step X, which is the new version of on-step. But of course, if your mount doesn't have the on-step X software, then it probably won't work with it, or it will have limited features with it. How have I got the deck reverse? Works okay for you? Yeah, Jim, it's... So, where do you reverse your deck? Because if I go into my equipment... So this is the weird thing with this mount. So if I go into mount, I have got primary reversed on, which is on the right ascension. And the reason I've done that is because when I clicked east, it would slew to the west. So I had to reverse that. So, oh, in PhD2 you're doing it. Okay. So why do you need to... Have I got deck reversed after flip? Why would I need to revert it? That's really... I'm not... so I haven't is the short answer. But I'll see what happens after this. If it's... I'm hoping it will do the... Actually start the flip for a start. Seconds to the end of this exposure, and I'm hoping it's going to start the meridian flip. It does say flip time in there, 9:40 through to 9:45. So I'm assuming it will do it next, I hope. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's just started another exposure. So maybe it'll do it after this exposure, because that would then take us to 9:46. A meridian flip is definitely selected. It's in there. And it says flip time. So, Jim, whereabouts in... So is it in... I won't do it right now because it's doing its thing, but is it in... Excuse me. Is it in the advanced settings? And let case stars. Yes, so you're right. So click on the brain and it's in guiding. Yeah, advanced settings. So are you doing reverse deck output after meridian flip? Is that the one that you're doing? I'm assuming that's the right one. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. I've clicked it. Okay, we'll see what happens. Right, we have 30 seconds left on this exposure, and then I'm hoping, because that will take us... So the meridian flip window is meant to be from 9:40 to 9:45, and we're now at 9:46. So I'm kind of hoping it's going to happen after this, otherwise that's a bit weird. Five, 56, 7, 9. Okay. Error. Dithering error. Code 1. That's interesting. And it started another exposure. What's code 1? Oh, it's lost its calibration, look. Can you see that behind my head? Let me move my head. I'll move my head to there. Look, it's gone red there. Is that because I clicked that button, do you think, Jim? And that's why it can't do dithering. So for some reason meridian flip has not happened. So I am just going to nip outside and check that my mount is not about to, my scope is not going to go too far for the mount. But that's weird, it's just ignored the instruction for meridian flip. Really odd. So we'll do this exposure and see if it happens after this. If not, because we're now past the meridian, I'll stop the sequence, I'll park the mount, and then I'll re-slew again, and it should know to go to the right side. And then we can start again, and I'll recalibrate the guiding. Interesting. Guiding figures are still good though, 0.83. I'll take that. That's how you do it also. Yeah, I guess so. I am concerned about on-step being now on-step X. It means that there must be a lot of mounts out there which are on-step that will no longer be able to use the new version of software at some point. So basically the time is ticking on your mount unless somebody develops the firmware. Okay, 99, 100%. Is it going to flip? No, it's not. So I'm going to stop this exposure. Right, I'm now going to park the mount. I should just stop guiding so it doesn't go bonkers. Stop. So let's park the mount. We'll just wait for it to slew round. This does take, because it's not, I've not got the fastest setting on the slewing because I don't want it to slew too quickly. Be really good. It's at times like this when you need an outdoor camera to show you all what's happening. Right, so that has parked. Let's unpark it. We'll now go into framing, slew and center. So it should hopefully now be synced to the other side of the mount. So I will just go and check that because I don't want it to go back to where it was a few moments ago. So I'll be back in about 20 seconds. Okay, so it did go to the correct side of the mount, which is good. So it's flipped past over to the other side. So it should hopefully now be recentering. Oh, you see, look at that. Of course it failed because its lines. So stop. So why would it do that? Slew and center. Again, it's lines. Why is that lines? So is that because it's not tracking? Why would it not be tracking? You know what? Let's have a look. So why wouldn't that be tracking? Any thoughts, anyone? I genuinely don't know why that's not tracking. Ah, it's so frustrating. I haven't got the mount limits on. Not tracking after a part. Yeah, I'll repark again. What I might do is just extend the limits, and it might help as well. Oh, don't worry about typos. Crikey, speaking to somebody who's dyslexic, typos are a part of my life. Right. Waiting for telescope to park, and now it's exposing. Oh, of course it's exposing because I didn't stop the framing wizard. So let me stop that. Stop. Okay. Right, so we've parked it. That's fine. I'm also going to extend. I'm going to just disconnect the mount. I'm going to go into the settings, and I'm going to extend the degrees to 15 for the limits. And then reconnect. Okay, that's cool. Unpark, and now we'll go into framing, slew and center. So now it should hopefully. So also disconnecting it as would have reset the driver as well. So hopefully, if the driver's gone a bit rubbish, then that should help. So we're for those, I don't know if you've all been here for a while. So basically, Meridian Flip didn't work, so it didn't even happen, which is really weird. So I have now parked them out. I've reset the limits as well, so hopefully it will be. It won't be. I have to get this right. So basically, if the telescope is taking control of the flip, it can't. It needs to be Nina that takes control of the flip. And I think that might be influencing why. So Nina has to be the master, essentially. See, again, that won't plate solve. Look at that. That's rubbish. I'm just going to go and check to see if there is anything outside that could be causing this, such as cables. It shouldn't be there because the cable management's pretty good, but I'll go and check. Okay, no cables. They're all fine. Let's try again. Salute and center. Maybe wait a bit longer. Whenever I get that error, I have to go outside and take the lens cap off. Oh, look at that. It has now begun to look a little bit less like lines, which is good, and it has plate solved, which is even better. That's good. Yeah, but, tell me who has tried to guide on a hot pixel. I've done that a lot. I left the lens cap on the cap on the guide scope once, and of course it was I could see stars. It was great. They were not stars at all. They were just hot pixels. Trying to guide, and it just reported that there was not very much movement. Well, yep. Okay, so it's found it. It's good. It's in the center. Let's now clear this out. Let's loop. Let's select a star and let's recalibrate as well. Yeah, raise his hand, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we're recalibrating so that that nice red thingamajig there turns green. And then we'll start all over again. I'm going to move my head again. I can't move head. Let's oh, it's in OBS. I'll move my head down to there. There we go. Right. Hopefully this will guide. And then I'm just going to leave this to do its thing. Let me go back to streaming so I can Okay, we are guiding and we are now calibrated. I know you can't see it, but the green calibration thing is now green, which is good. 0.58, 0.65. Hopefully this is now going to behave. Could it be that this mount just doesn't like the meridian? Quite seriously, is it just basically that was now far enough outside of the meridian, so when you get close to the meridian it just says, no, I'm no longer a telescope mount, I want to be a chocolate teapot. And then once it's got past its chocolate teapot phase, it then says, well, you know what, I quite liked being a mount, I'm going to be a mount again, because I'll take 0.55 as my guiding any day. And that's what it's giving me right now. Right, let's start imaging. Sequencer. That's all good. Let's start. Correct. So it just essentially wants to be a chocolate teapot. Sorry, that's the clock. Hey, the clocks go spring forward. They go forward. Spring forward, fall back. So spring forward, so we lose an hour's sleep, which is okay actually. It's fine because I tend not to sleep very well anyway, so that's all okay. That is, of course, if you are going to British summertime, which we are in the UK. So basically, I need to not use this mount if it's going to do a meridian flip, or just stop it really early before the meridian. Let the meridian pass. But the other thing is, previously it had shown the meridian sequence within Nina. Oh, I don't know. Who knows? Right, so guiding is looking okay now. .73, 0.74. First exposure. How many have I got? Actually, I tend to need at least 80 exposures to get anything that's reasonable. So let's how many have we done? There we go. So we've done 25. Obviously a load of those will be thrown away due to rubbish and satellites and things. Okay. Which scope am I using tonight? Which scope do I have? So this scope is a GSO telescope. It is a Ritchie-Chrétien scope, and its focal length is 1,370 millimeters, which is why it's quite zoomed in. And it's a 6-inch telescope, which makes it f9. So it's relatively slow in terms of its light gathering. The telescope has a 405cc camera, which is an SV Bode camera, and it's taken me a long time to master this camera, but I have now. and it seems to work pretty well. So that's good. You can see there's a lot of dust motes and things, and this one is a new one which happened halfway through the first hour of imaging. So I've retaken the flats. So this particular telescope is a long focal length 6-inch Ritchie-Chrétien scope, and I've been really pleased with how it's been imaging. It's been really good. In fact, if I can find some pictures, I will show you some pictures. Let's have a look. So this is this one here is UGC 6360, which is a teeny tiny galaxy, which I was quite pleased with. And this was Sunflower Galaxy, which I took last week. So that was quite cool. Quite pleased with that one. Let's have a look at what else I took. M106. So this is another galaxy which I took last week as well, with this setup. And what else? M101. There we go. So that's M101. Again from last week, 'cause we had a bunch of days which were just super clear. So there's that one, and then we also had M51 as well. Let me just get the right one. So M51. So it's a good little scope, this one. I'm pretty pleased with how it works with this camera as well. Not at all unhappy with these images. So yeah, those are what else did I say? So I did M51. I think those are all of them actually. M51, yes, yeah. Did I do M106? Can't remember if I showed this one. Yes, I did. I did show you that one. Yep. Yeah, M51 turned out really well. I was pleased with M51. See if I can find it again. Sorry, I'm just making sure I go to the right. Yeah, M51 was quite cool. I'm not brilliant at pulling out colours, and I think I over-egged this a bit, but that's fine. I'm happy with that. That's okay. It's good. This is the first time. This was the first image I took with this scope and this camera combination, and because it's working really well and it's calibrating really well, I'm not going to change it. It's just fine. And I'm not using any filters as well, apart from the UV-IR filter, which I always put in. But I am pleased with how that looks. It's good. And the longer focal length for galaxies is really good. But I really, really, really want to try it on something with lots of colour, something like a nebula or something, but with getting into the finer detail of an interesting bit of a nebula. I think that's where this will be really interesting to use, but you'd have to take a lot of integration time because it's so slow. I have noticed that at f9, although I'm taking maybe 8 hours, I really need to probably double or triple that to get what I would get from, say, 8 hours with an f5 scope, which it's fairly obvious, really. Look at that. Look at the guiding now. Let's have a look at our guiding. It's still above the line, but that's okay. I can live with that. But the figures are good. 0.66. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice. Right, I'm just going to have to get some more water because I don't want to cough at you all. And then I think I need to probably wrap. But I'll be back in a few moments. Just need to get some water. Ah, F10. Oh, typically 1 to 2 hours for galaxies. Well, that's cool. It's also entirely dependent on the quality of your skies as well. So if you have very, very dark skies, you can obviously get more data from the sky than you would. I mean, here we're Bortle 6/7, so it's quite high. Hey, do you guys want to see my next project? I'm going to give you a sneaky peek. I'm just going to go and get it. Okay, here we go. Sneaky peek at the next project. Right. Machined tube rings. More machined tube rings. Machined spider. And a carbon fiber tube. What do you think to this? So that's a project that's coming up fairly soon. It's in progress at the moment. And just to let you know, this was white earlier, and I have stripped it, sanded it and resprayed it. The rest of all the parts are being paint stripped at the moment. But I'm building a telescope out of a 130 PDS with a carbon fiber tube, and I'm going to document the whole thing. Kind of kicked off this week because my wonderful wife bought me that carbon fiber tube for my birthday, and so yes, there's going to be a whole building the best ever Newtonian project. So that is the next big thing which I'm going to be building, which should be fun. So that's an F5 imaging scope, and I've had to be really careful because up here I've got the mirrors, so the mirrors are actually up there. This is 3D printed, but yeah, basically this is going to be in that scope, obviously with the machined spider as opposed to the 3D printed one. There we go. Pop it back up there. So that should be a cool project. Looking forward to building that one. Right, so it's now 10:15, so I need to probably wrap. It looks like guiding is okay. 0.67 I will take, that is very good. .55 on Nina, but Nina doesn't count every bit that it only counts the bit that it sees as opposed to what PhD2 has got. So looking at my sequencer, so we're at 29 of 140 exposures. Hopefully I'll be able to use some of those. So that was a bit epic, wasn't it? Blimey. There we go. So we've been through the whole meridian stuff. It looks like this mount won't meridian flip, which is very interesting. Okay, I'm going to say good night, everybody. Take care. I hope your imaging is going well. I'm hoping next video will be a Galaxies video. I'm losing my voice again. It's going a bit weird. So I've got most of the footage for the Galaxies video. You've seen the end results already, but I will hopefully have a video in the next. It's just my son's birthday tomorrow, and then I'm hoping to get a video out possibly tomorrow. It depends if the footage is any good. I've also got an off-axis guider video, but I'm still trying to get the off-axis guider to actually be in focus. So there's no point making a video about it until it actually works. So that's another one in progress. I've got the carbon fiber 130 PDS video coming up once I've built that and used it. I'm also hopefully going to do a couple of interviews, which would be good. So I'm wanting to interview a couple of people. I won't say who they are yet, but that should be really cool. Ardsley Astro, hello there. I'm afraid I'm just about to wrap, but anyway, so yes, that's the plan at the moment. And but so many of these videos take a long time to make, so it's tricky to get a video out every week. Is really difficult, or every month for that matter, because you've got to get the material. So yeah, okay, that's imaging. Let's just have a look at the last exposure. Yep, still covered in dust motes, which is fine. So good night, everybody. Take care. Look after yourselves. I will speak to you all soon, and thank you for joining and for chatting and for contributing, and I will speak to you all soon. So take care, everyone. Bye bye.